No, I got to go with the Hornets, baby. By that time, Andre Body, Carlos, Texas Southern guy, he gonna be thrilling. He gonna be setting it on fire. He'll be been settled into the offense. He throws the long ball great. I gotta go with the Hornets.
All right, and then we got Alabama A&M. This is maybe a situation where Coach Maynard is trying to save his job.
He won't save it that game. I got Graham. I got Gremlin. By that time, Coach Dooley and Coach Joseph and the staff have been gelling. The team. And see, one thing, the good thing about coming in that first year with a team, they don't ever stop fighting because they understand it's a tomorrow. You know what I mean? So even though it's late in the season, they still gonna come out and play. I got to go with one of my understudies.
Oh, man.
The other one is under Pete Richardson. Terrence Graves is under Pete Richardson. Mickey Joseph is under my tutelage.
Hey, before I take this down, I got to get a Bishop opportunity to respond to some of these picks.
Well, here's the thing. I picked Prairie View, so I'm going to take Prairie View.
Oh, starting from the top, Coach. You're cheating me.
Steve. Well, no, I didn't know. Yeah, we can go right from the top. There's no problem. It is no problem. So I'm with Coach, with the Raging Cajuns. Grambling going to take that L first game with no problem. I think they got Tuskegee that next game, right?
Yeah.
I like Grambling in that game. Third game, we've got Texas A&M Commerce. They only won one game last year. G-Men have got to get that W just for the swag and things like that. So I'm going to take the G-Men.
I gave him that game.
Special right here.
Uh-oh.
So, Coach, this is the one I'm calling the upset. You call Prairie View. I'm calling this game right here.
Put the D on.
Hey, listen. I'm telling you, I'm calling this one. This is my upset special. The G-Men come out on top, and this is what knocks Alabama State out the East.
Ooh, so you get
I'm calling it. I'm just telling you something. Again, that G, and if they're rolling coming in that game, and with that Grambling G, like I said, I believe in Coach Joe. I think I'll have those boys ready to play. Alabama A&M, I've already said Alabama A&M is going to win 2 conference games, so this is not 1-2. I'm taking Grambling on that. And then in the Bayou Classic, I'm taking Grambling.
7. I had them 65. You got them 7.
No. You have them 7-4, Coach.
I had him 7-4. Oh, my difference between him was the Alabama.
No, you have them. By my count, they had 12 games, Coach. Maybe how they recover from this stretch of games tells how they recover. I pretty much know how they're gonna do, right? I think they're gonna lose all 3 of these games. But if they can dig out of that hole and come back on the back half of their season and play well, they can go into the next season with a lot of momentum. Coach, if not, Coach Joseph could be in for a tough season.
Put those 3 games up you're talking about. Now remember, I know Jackson State, Jackson State, PV, and Alco. Now you remember they got the baddest quarterback in the conference now. You think Crowley gonna let them win 3 games lose 3 games in a row? Okay, yes. That's all I had to say. Can we get the call on that?
Yeah, we get the call on that.
They're gonna win one of them 3.
Caller, you live on the air.
How you doing, sir? All 3 of you.
Good. What's your name and where you calling from?
Benjamin, Houston, by means of the Open Mic Network. And so I was hoping a person from Texas Southern didn't answer that question, but if somebody else could answer, I appreciate it.
Okay. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, here's the thing. Prairie View, to me, because of the way their schedule lines up, has the ability to host that game. I'm going to tell you the reason why. If they say what they think they are, okay? They play FAMU there, and they play Alabama State at Montgomery. You win those 2 games, you host the SWAC championship game. Point blank, period.
Correct.
But with that being said, that means you will have one of the best seasons in Prairie View's history. So the question I would ask you, do you have the team to achieve that? Because that's what that means. Now, I said you're winning the West. I didn't say you're hosting the game. I believe you will win the West. But for you to host the game, you beat Florida and them because you would have the head-to-head if they won the East, and if you beat Alabama,
West team to host it. And Coach, I invite you to section one. One last thing, Coach. I invite you to section 109, row 14, season ticket 1, 2, 3, 4. At any time you want to come to the Texas Southern game this year, I got a seat for you if you want to sit there.
Well, may I answer to that since you've been calling me out? I sit up in the street box. I sit up in the street box with a barbecue. I sit up in the sweet box with.
Well, I can get you some. I can get you some barbecue if you want some.
Yeah,
I can get you some barbecue. I'm not calling.
And then I go up on top where the owner sits at in the private box. So and I've been to the last.
Sir, I've been in the presidency. I've been in the president's box, but my point is, my wife is from Texas Southern, so I'm holding it out for Texas Southern also. But I know you have a little more gusto when it comes to Prairie View. So I'm just
let me ask you this. You know who the quarterback is at Prairie View?
No, I would not. No. First of all, I would not say that I know. Yeah, I don't know who it is. Coach Bubba knows who it is.
Rocky, can you put our standees up there? Because just like I have to talk about Coach Green, I'm gonna let Mr. Benjamin know where Coach at. Where do I got you at, Coach? Benjamin, where I got you at? Come on, man. I don't hate Prairie View. I love Prairie View. Them my people down there.
No, Coach. I'm not even. Coach, I saw that last week, and I saw how y'all tried to destroy my boy, everybody against TV. So I'm not gonna be like him. But what I am gonna say is, I just heard you say we're gonna lose the Grambling, and they cheated last year when they beat us. But I'm just gonna go back and say I enjoy your show. I think y'all are
gonna be able to execute it in the SWAC and come away with some victories, or he thinks their schedule is so favorable that it's more favorable than Alcorn. But I'll let him explain himself as to why he thinks Prairie View is the better team.
Well, let me say this. This is what first of all, Shady Grove Bears, who I believe is a Grambling Tiger. Yeah, you caught what he said. He said that y'all cheated them. You see how that Prairie View person slid that in there. But let me say something. What I love about Prairie View people, they are almost as bad as the Alabama State people. They feel this is their time. Have y'all noticed they have called in more on our show than they called in the last 2 years? And then they are feeling themselves. Coach, do you hear me? They are feeling themselves. The man said the man wanted to give you a ticket to your alma mater. Now, that's really feeling themselves.
Coach, can I add one thing? Man, I sit on top of the president when I go to that game. I sit with the owner.
Is try to get as many HBCU coaches on so they can feel comfortable coming on your show and talking about their programs, especially the new coaches, versus trying to lead them down a rabbit hole to get them to answer questions that they're not able to answer, especially if they are new coaches at their school.
Well, so okay, what rabbit hole? What rabbit hole are you talking about, Walter?
Well, the rabbit hole is when they were trying to get coach from South Carolina State. His last name is slipping me right now.
Coach Berry.
Dennis Berry.
To try to say something somewhat negative about FAMU last night, and Mr. Campbell wasn't going for that. He was just being straight up a commentator, an interviewer, and he was not allowing his bias.
Was aware that could have been the case, and then I wanted him to talk about what kind of coach. What's the coach name that y'all didn't want?
Coach
I wanted to know what kind of Coach Gibbs was, because I didn't know what kind of Coach Gibbs was, and I wanted Coach Berry to talk about Coach Gibbs a little bit and tell us what kind of coach he was. And that's how I made it relevant, because one of our biggest shows on this channel ever was talking about the situation at FAMU. We got over 6,000 viewers talking about that situation. And so it was important to somebody. And so I wanted to bring it up and see if Coach Berry was aware of what happened, the same way it seems like everybody else in the HBCU land had an opinion. I just wanted to see if Coach Berry had an opinion. And I thought it was...
Go ahead.
Well,
how he's going to try to attack you, where he's came from. Because when you take over a job, when I take over a job and we look at our schedule and there's a new coach that's coming in, whoever he hired, we go chase down their film. If he hire an offense coordinator from Nebraska, we trying to get Nebraska film. If he hire a defense coordinator from Ohio State, we trying to run down Ohio State's film. So that's what we do, Coach. We answer the hard questions.
Let me respond to Mr. Harley. First of all, I appreciate you watching the show. That is awesome. We appreciate it. Well, Mr. Harley, you're right. Those two guys on this screen was being messy. You're right, Mr. Harley. I'm not going to let them get away with it. You saw it, and I saw it too. And see, you got that guy from Texas Southern, that cameraman trying to be slick, and then you got that PWI guy. But see, me, the loyal HBCU guy, I wasn't going to let Chisholmberry fall that hole. Thank you, Mr. Harley. I'm glad you saw that. See, we know that. So, but no, we just joke around. And I want to
get the business out. And again, this is the first show. If somebody can call in and tell us that you actually getting to meet black college coaches, head coaches, besides from media day, which I don't know the numbers that they get. Rocky, maybe we can find that out. The numbers they get, they can't come and talk openly as they can come on this show and get out. Because one of the things, the people who's after them are just trying to find out things. We don't find them out. We already don't know. And I always can give a perspective, a coach's perspective. Steve can give a fan perspective, and Rocky can give the outside perspective of when we rap to these coaches, and we're coming at them in three different ways, So I think, where we are and what we're trying to establish here is I'll take a word out of your conversation.
Your house.
Where you definitely got to say a coaching issue because you didn't win. What did he win? He went 0-11, 3-8, 5-6. What is that? We can count that on one hand, can't we? and then your fourth year, you started out 0-7. Texas Southern's always had great players.
11 games in 5 years, Coach, I think is the count.
Yeah, and how many Division II and what they played the club team across town. You know that, right? They played the club team across town. Only had 2 buildings on campus. Then they brought a school from California in that hadn't won no games in 2 or 3 years. So I don't even know if you want to
homecoming. You talking about homecoming?
Yeah.
Well, Coach Cole.
Yes.
But you ain't bringing up that they didn't play Baylor. They didn't play.
But that's not big. And then he
was offensive coordinator for 1 year.
It wasn't a year. It was in the middle of the year. And then he went on to coach at Arizona for another half a year. And then he came in. He wasn't even ready. I don't know if you listen to his first interview. The first interview he said, I quote, "Yeah, I don't know too much about the football, but I do know about Machine Gun Kelly, and I know about the band." How do you take a job, a perennial losing job, and you talk about the basketball program and the band? That means that you coming into an area you don't know nothing about.
He coming to get that money, Coach.
He ran off with $1.5 million. How many games did he win, Coach?
11.
11. So then do the math on that. That's $100,000 plus per game.
Per win, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are expensive. Any coach in their right mind would take that deal 10 times out of 10. And somehow they filed it up. And you ask me, is that coaching? It absolutely was coaching. There's no doubt about it. Situationally, they were bad.
Do you know what happened that game, sir? Hello? He clicked off?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
No, I'm still here. He ran the ball. He tried to push the ball over the goal line and got the ball knocked out of his hand. He tried to recover, stuck his arm out, total labrum.
Right. Why would a second-year starting quarterback up 17 points trying to get an inch when all you got to do is play ball control? Somebody should have told him something, right?
Hey,
okay.
And let me say this here, Coach, because I don't mean to interrupt you, but there was some guy on the team that led the SWAC in rushing the next year.
Yeah.
It was 13-31, wasn't it?
Look at the sideline.
Yeah.
13-31.
Now let me ask you this: do you know?
I looked at the sideline and do.
Do you know Ladarius, right? Do you know how many yards we were averaging per carry that game? Do you know how many yards?
He was averaging by 8, right? What did by 8?
No, we're averaging 10 yards a carry. You know how many times we threw the ball in the third quarter? 30 times. Why would you take a kid that got a shoulder problem coming back off of an injury and make him throw the ball 30 times and you up 31-13? Come on.
You shouldn't have.
Yeah. And you know what? You know how crazy we are at Texas Southern? I said we, right? So if I've got Texas Southern people listening, I'm a part of it too. I watched that. We were asking for him to get another year. We were pushing.
Carlos Johnson.
Carlos, let me tell you this. So when you go back and talk about Texas Southern people, because I know how they talk. They talk crazy. They want to talk. They want to talk about your personal life and all that kind of stuff that don't mean nothing. Here I am. I got a coach, right? I'm going into his last year of the contract, right? He jumped off 0-6, something like that. He wins the homecoming. Do I start prepping to get a new coach so I can get a coach in here as soon as the season's over to start recruiting? Or do I wait till the last game that he's going to finish up 2-9? He trying to win this. No, 3-8, coach, because he won homecoming. He beat Alcorn. And I'm going to wait till the last game, Coach Steve. You run a business. You got a mug that ain't selling nothing. You're going to that, Steve. Rocky, I don't understand it. Boy, you don't got me hot this morning. This afternoon. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm with you, Coach Cole. I grew up in Houston. Even when I was at TSU, 93, 94, 95, the whole team was Florida.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are they recruiting all these dudes and you got Houston?
That was where Coach Thomas is from. Coach Thomas was from Florida. And let's just talk about Coach Thomas.
No, that was
an okay coach.
No, that was Coach. That was Coach Highsmith. Highsmith. That was Highsmith. Highsmith had all the Florida kids there.
Yeah, both of them from Florida. Now, you know, Highsmith brought in Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
In 1990, Texas Southern, in 1991, Texas Southern had 22 players that signed NFL contracts. I didn't say NFL contracts, Coach. All right? We had Strahan third.
Practice, they bring them snacks and food. Yeah,
that's high school. That's high school. Well, maybe they shouldn't have paid him all that doggone money that they paid. I was making $168,000, Coach. That's being the AD in the football coach. They paid him twice what they paid me. I won more games than he won in my year and a half than he won in 4. Same thing with Mike Haywood. Same thing with Durrell Asper. I won.
You know, when I heard that, I was like, you talking about college? Yeah. And you got a father and a mother and an uncle dragging a barbecue pit on the practice field, handing out hot dogs and hamburgers. What in
it wasn't like that, Rocky.
You football. It's a shame that TSU and Prairie View don't dominate in the SWAC, considering the fertile football landscape that they had to choose from.
In all honesty, most Houston kids, they think they are Power 5 level kids. You ask any kid where they want to go, they're going to say Texas, Alabama, Baylor. I live down the street from Marshall High School, the fastest high school in the nation. I guarantee you that. I don't think nobody out there can touch them.
No. But
them kids are going to SEC.
But those kids also go to national champion Sam Houston. They also go to Texas State. They also go to North Texas. And in my opinion, those programs provide more to black kids in the state of Texas. I mean,
because we don't have too many greats that walk through there and they have made a mistake, like President Slade. President Lane, you know what I mean, that have done and was doing some great things for that university. And we can't keep a president.
They got him up out of there. They get him up out of there quick.
How many presidents we don't have since I've been there, Coach? 15? You know what I mean? How many ADs we don't have? How many head football coaches we don't have? It's crazy, Coach. You can't build nothing with you don't have no continuity.
So this comment right here, and I'm gonna let Bishop Campbell speak to this one. And I believe the gentleman is talking about me overrating the HBCU experience that exists at PV and TSU. Right? Am I overselling it?
Well, I think, this is where I think it cuts both ways. And I think he's saying you can't keep overrating. Rocky, you're in Texas, and I went to Texas a lot, and Texas is like Florida to me. You've got a lot of those big schools, and this is what happened to FAMU for a while. These kids grow up rooting for Florida State, Miami, and Florida, right? FAMU's over on the side. Down in Texas, those kids grow up going to Texas, Texas A&M, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then they don't get exposure. FAMU had to get louder in their recruiting. You see what I'm saying? We had to get louder. Hey, man, you come to FAMU, you're going to enjoy the experience. But we also had to make sure that the rest of it was quality. We had the academics. We got the girls. Now we build the program. So that's what Texas Southern needs to mean. That's what Texas Southern needs to do is they got to utilize what they got and then go back to that alumni that's out there coaching and say, first of all, you got to have that figure like Coach Cole. Because Coach Cole shows you, hey, I can win 9 games and win a championship.
They don't even have to hire me as a head coach, but make me involved.
To your point, and I want to bring up the state of Alabama for this reason. There's no reason why the state of Alabama should be one of the best football schools, should have one of the best football schools in the nation, one of the best programs to ever exist. There's no reason. When you look at the numbers in the state, the number of football players they produce, look at the population of the state, there's no way they should be that way. But I'll tell you this, the people in Alabama care more. They care more. They're willing to invest more. They're willing to do more. They're willing to show up more. They're willing to pay more. And that's why they get the results that they get. Because like you said, they care more.
And they hired a coach that they supported, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Nick Saban had more violations than any coach in America. They didn't care about that. They cared about winning, Coach.
Freeze been the SEC champion, him calling those hookers wouldn't have been a problem.
Hey, man, listen, I'm going to say this because I'm not going to say no coach's name out of respect for anybody. But if I'm the coach of Florida A&M and I win a celebration bowl, them folks are family, you ain't going to give a damn. I got 3 wives. So come on, man. It's all relative. I can have 3 wives and 1 in Jackson. But then I go visit her when we play Jackson State. They wouldn't care if I win a championship. That go for anybody, baby. That go for anybody. Okay?
All right. Hey, man, we gonna get out of here, man. Yeah. Me and my family, we headed somewhere, man. We got to hit the road, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We didn't have Coach Joseph along, and we was going to get out of here real quick. But like it always happens to us, man, we get in those rabbit holes, I guess, and we have a great time together, man. I want to thank everybody for continuing to support the program. Make sure you go in the description, select Rocky Miller's YouTube, and subscribe.
My name is JM&E, and I won $500 for lunch for keeping up with the Jonas Bracket Challenge.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV. BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.